Imagine looking up at the night sky, and suddenly, a glowing object moves faster than any plane you've ever seen. Tonight, we are diving into the top 5 UFO sightings nobody talks about. These are encounters that were reported, yet remain hidden in shadows, whispered about but rarely shown. Each story will pull you deeper, leaving you questioning what we really know about the universe. Prepare yourself for moments that will chill your spine, spark your imagination, and make you wonder, are we really alone? Our first story takes us to a remote desert in Nevada, where a retired pilot reported a silver disc hovering silently above his aircraft. He described it as larger than a commercial jet, yet moving without a sound. Radar didn't pick it up, and no other planes were in the area. What makes this story chilling is the way it appeared to track his flight path, almost as if it were aware of him. He says it stayed visible for over 5 minutes, enough time for him to photograph it. But when he checked the images later, they were distorted in ways that defied explanation. Next, we travel to a small fishing village in Norway. A local fisherman witnessed bright lights rising from the fjord at night. They weren't like any flare or boat lights. They moved in perfect formation, silently cutting through the mist. The fisherman described them as otherworldly, like they were alive, communicating in patterns. When he returned the next day, there were strange scorch marks along the water's edge, and the marine life was behaving oddly, almost as if disturbed by something invisible. This sighting remains one of the most mysterious and least discussed in European UFO history. In a remote forest of Brazil, a group of hikers reported seeing a triangular craft silently hovering above the treetops. Its lights pulsed rhythmically, almost like a heartbeat. One hiker took out his phone to capture the moment, but the video appeared corrupted, flickering with strange symbols that resembled alien language. Suddenly, all electronic devices in the group failed. They later described feeling an intense pressure in the air, like the craft was observing and testing them. Even years later, the hikers claim that night changed their perception of reality forever. Moving to the deserts of Australia, a lone camper reported witnessing a series of disc-shaped UFOs that hovered in a perfect circle. Each disc emitted a low humming sound, almost musical, vibrating through the ground. He described feeling an emotional connection, as if the craft were trying to communicate directly with him. When he drew diagrams of the objects, locals recognized the pattern as resembling ancient Aboriginal symbols. This connection between ancient culture and modern sightings raises the question, are these phenomena not only extraterrestrial but also timeless? In Canada's northern wilderness, a park ranger observed a metallic object descending from the sky, landing silently near a frozen lake. The ice around it glowed unnaturally, and nearby wildlife fled in fear. The ranger approached cautiously, recording the object's surface. It reflected not only the surroundings but seemed to ripple, like it was alive. He swore he saw a faint humanoid silhouette inside the craft, but when the footage was reviewed later, the figure was gone, leaving only a shimmering, unexplained distortion. This encounter remains deeply unsettling, showing intelligence behind these mysterious crafts. One of the most bizarre accounts comes from Japan. A group of hikers in the mountains noticed a cluster of lights forming geometric shapes in the sky. As they watched, the shapes rotated and shifted, defying physics. Suddenly, the lights aligned into a massive arrow pointing directly at their campsite. The hikers reported an overwhelming sense of urgency, as if they were being warned. The next morning, the campsite had strange indentations and scorch marks, and one of the hikers found a small metallic object that disappeared before authorities could analyze it. The mystery deepens. In Mexico, witnesses described a UFO that followed a convoy of cars along a desert highway. The object's lights were blinding, forcing drivers to slow down. Strangely, some reported sudden lapses in memory, forgetting how long the craft had been with them. One driver captured video, but the footage showed objects moving impossibly fast, vanishing and reappearing across miles in seconds. Authorities never confirmed the incident, but locals whispered about the strange aftermath: electronic devices failing, unusual marks on vehicles, and an unexplainable sense of being watched. In Russia, an entire village reported seeing a massive craft hovering over the forest at dusk. The sky lit up with intense beams, and people described hearing strange frequencies that affected their minds. Livestock vanished overnight, and local cameras captured fleeting images of dark, shadowy figures moving along the perimeter of the craft. Investigators who arrived later found traces of unknown radiation, but no official report was made public. This sighting remains one of the most frightening, leaving a lingering question: what if these beings are observing us on a scale we cannot comprehend? The final story leads us to an isolated island in the Pacific. Locals spoke of strange lights emerging from the ocean at night, forming intricate patterns over the waves. Fishermen reported objects rising from beneath the water, hovering, then disappearing instantly. Some described hearing low harmonic sounds that induced deep, unexplainable emotions. Cameras captured faint images of beings that seemed semi-transparent, moving with grace. The consistency of sightings across decades and the similarities to other global encounters suggest a coordinated intelligence. Something watches us from above and below, orchestrating a narrative we barely understand. As we piece these accounts together, a shocking pattern emerges. These sightings are not isolated, they mirror each other across continents and decades. Shapes, behaviors, and effects on humans are remarkably similar. Some experts suggest that this is not just extraterrestrial visitation but a conscious attempt to study humanity, subtly influencing our perception of reality. What if every UFO sighting, every strange light, every unexplainable video is part of a larger coordinated observation? Tonight, we realize the world we thought we knew is only a fragment of a much larger mysterious universe. These top 5 UFO sightings remind us that the universe is far more mysterious than we imagine. The question isn't whether we are alone, it's whether we are ready to understand what's truly out there. If these stories sparked your curiosity and sent chills down your spine, imagine what else is waiting in the shadows. Keep looking up, keep questioning, and don't forget to subscribe, because the truth is vast, and this is only the beginning. Your journey into the unexplained has just started.